You would be surprised at how many things you could just not touch and let those fires burn, and your business will grow actually faster than if you had invested the time to try to put out all of these fires and address every single issue. And I use what's a modified model of what software developers use to prioritize what changes they're going to make in software. So it's a really good model because software developers have an infinite number of ways that they can change the software, right? They're getting requests, and they're getting input, and they're getting complaints, and they're getting, some constructive feedback, and they're like, okay, well, there's like a million things to be working on. How do we prioritize it? Well, they use a model called RICE, and it basically comes down to reach, like what's the overall impact that it's going to have? Like, is it going to affect one person? Is it going to affect a million people? It's impact. Like, what is the impact that this is actually going to have on the overall results? And like, it'll affect a million people, but it's not really that important. Like, they don't really care that much. Then it's confidence. Like, what's your confidence level that you can make that change and that'll have that impact? Right? Like, this is a huge thing, and if it matters, it'd be big. I'm not quite sure that it's going to have that big of an impact. Like, it might flop, right? So what is your confidence level, and then what's the effort level? In other words, like, is this a heavy lift or is this a light lift? And we actually have a model that we plug things into, and because there's a formula that goes along with it. But you can just look at this and basically say, impact, confidence, effort. What's the impact this is going to have on revenue specifically? What's my confidence level that it's going to have that impact, and how big of a lift is this? What's the effort level? If you evaluate those three things, it'll help you start to prioritize what should we focus on first. That's largely the process that we go through to do this, exactly that. Like, we go through, we audit the entire system, we evaluate what things are there, then we prioritize what needs to get done and in what order, and we say, okay, here's the roadmap. This is what I would execute over the next 6 to 12 months to be on track from hitting where we are now, to where we want to be. And this is really how you get strategic about sales. Is you're busy in the machine the whole time, right? Like, you've got the car, like the hood popped, you are in the car all the time. And sometimes you just need to zoom out. Like, you need to zoom out so that you can see, the proverbial forest through the trees, right? And at least, hell, make sure you're in the right forest to begin with. So this is how you do that. You zoom out, you look at the systems, you break it down high level, and you prioritize what needs to change. And that's how you change the parts in your system from creating a $9 million a year output to creating a $29 million a year output. And you can think of this in terms of scaling your sales with strategy and with systems, instead of just like tactical piece by piece and patchwork and band-aids that over time make the business clunkier and more complex and more challenging to scale.